Alexandra og verkefnisstjóri Kennsluakademíunnar. Verið velkomin á þennan kynningarfund Kennsluakademíunnar fyrir umsóknarferlið árið 2026. Sean Michael Scully, meðlimur Kennsluakademíunnar og fyrir meðlimur í stjórn hennar frá Háskólanum á Akureyri, fer yfir ferlið, allt ferlið, hvernig á að bera sig að, en hann einnig leiðir umsóknarferils námskeiðið sem hefst í janúar. En hann skýrir það allt saman vel út. Og hann alveg sér ferlið að sækja alveg fram að því að þið sendið inn umsóknina í vor og þá tekur við erlend matsnefnd sem fer yfir umsókninar. En nú fer Sean yfir ferlið, so Sean is the leader of the support course and the whole process of writing the application until you turn it in. So I will give now Sean the word. Sean, over to you. Do you have the slides with you? Okay, great.
Hopefully everyone can see them. Okay, now I lost my tab. Okay, here we go. Okay, so so I just want to give you guys a quick introduction to the Kennsl Academy of the Open Universities of Iceland. So the Kennsl Academy is, if we can advance the slide, there we go. It's sort of been designed around the sort of the Nordic model for teaching academies, which are all based on sort of the scholarship of teaching and learning pedagogical set of ideas. The main purpose of the academy is to basically reward excellent teachers. For a long time, many of us in academia felt that teaching isn't sort of given its sort of due weight in the same way that research is. And the creation of the Teaching Academy is sort of one way to sort of, drag teaching sort of into the spotlight and, sort of better highlight those that are actually, really dedicated and excellent at this core job of educating students. So the Teaching Academy is, of course, a cooperative effort between the public universities of Iceland. So the University of Iceland, of course, the University of Akureyri, Höller, and also the Agricultural University. So one question I'm frequently asked is why apply? And obviously you're going to get a slightly different answer from everybody, but a recurring theme seems to be that members apply just so they can have a core of like-minded individuals with whom they can discuss teaching. The sort of the nitty-gritty of what works, what doesn't work, and it's just sort of nice to have like-minded colleagues, even if they're in different disciplines, to talk about teaching. And a lot of our members have often sort of expressed a lot of I don't want to say gratitude, but a lot of appreciation for the fact they get exposed to other excellent educators and they can sort of steal ideas and sort of integrate those lessons into their own teaching. Another reason to apply is, of course, there is of course a financial incentive. It's equivalent to roughly 50,000 additional Icelandic kroner per month, which is paid out once a year. So it's probably about 300,000 kroner after taxes. This is paid out in July. It's not much money, but it's at least something. Although at least in the members I've spoken to, usually the financial incentive is probably the lowest on the list of why they wanted to apply to the Teaching Academy. So 50,000 kroner a month for the duration of your teaching career. My understanding is that there's a slight cost of living adjustment to this figure that will be made every couple of years, so this number will increase with time as inflation sort of rears its ugly head. So at present, we've got about 50 members of the Academy. We've been admitting around 10 to 15 people per year. Typically, the success rate for applications is north of 50%. It's varied a little bit from year to year. And anybody who is a permanent university educator, so adjunct, lecturer, docent, or professor, who's at least 50% employed, is eligible to apply. And we've got people sort of from all stages of their academic careers sort of in the Academy. So in terms of actually applying for the 2026 calendar year, very soon we'll sort of open up the workshop support, teaching portfolio workshop support course. It's kind of a mouthful. Around December 1st, where you can basically register to take part in this workshop, which will hopefully be helpful in your process of preparing an application to the Academy. I would like to point out that this workshop is totally optional. You don't have to attend the workshop to actually apply to the Academy. There have been several people who have not participated in the workshop, write successful applications, but the vast majority of people say that they found the workshop to be incredibly helpful. So the deadline for registration for the workshop will be the 8th of January. After that, we'll have 2 workshops. We'll actually sort of meet online, and we'll have 2 sessions, one on Tuesday, January 13th from 2 to 4, and a second one offered on Thursday, January 22nd from 3 to 5. Now, you only need to attend one of the workshops. That said, in the past, we have had people attend both workshops, and you're more than welcome to do so. Each one is a little bit different, just due to the different mix of people and personalities involved. And during the portfolio writing workshop, we'll go through several exercises where we sort of look at and examine successful teaching portfolios, go through some of the common pitfalls, and to sort of discuss some of the finer details of writing a successful teaching portfolio, which is sort of one of the key components. It is the key component of the application to the Academy. Throughout February and March, we'll have several sort of drop-in questions and answer sessions. We haven't really scheduled those just yet. And in March, you'll be allowed to sort of submit what we call a 75% complete draft of your teaching portfolio, which other folks in the workshop will provide some peer feedback on. If you do that, you'll then permitted to sort of submit a 95% complete draft, which will be evaluated by what we call a critical friend, someone who's currently in the Teaching Academy, who will give you some one-on-one feedback on your application. And that should be sort of wrapped up probably in the middle of May or so. The deadline for applications this year will be, I want to say, Friday, June 8th, where you submit the application, which has 3 components, which we'll talk about in a second, via email to the Academy's website. So the teaching portfolio itself, the application, it basically consists of 3 major components. There's the teaching portfolio, which is 6,000 words, give or take, plus oftentimes there's supporting material. We ask that participants submit a curriculum vitae with a teaching focus, what we call a teaching CV, if you will, as well as a letter of support from the head of school, which could be the dean or the department chair, whichever is relevant in your particular case. In some cases, we've had department chairs apply, and it doesn't necessarily make sense for them to write their own letters of support. So the applications, once submitted, are basically looked at through the lens of 4 basic criteria of the Academy. What we're looking for is educators that have a really strong student-centric focus in their teaching work, good knowledge and professional skills to actually teach the subject that they're teaching, which is usually a freebie because people are usually pretty good at what they teach. Clear plans for teaching development in the future. So, I mean, how do you plan to develop yourself as an educator going forward? And we also like to see that people are active participants in the conversation and having conversations about teaching. Now, just to be clear, it is very rare that an applicant is sort of excellent in all 4 of these criteria. Usually people will, be really strong in 2 or 3 and then, weaker in another, and that's okay. It just kind of depends on how you've developed as an educator. The applications are actually reviewed by 3 Scandinavian experts from Norway, Sweden, Denmark, and 1 expert from Iceland. After an initial sort of round of sort of looking at the applications, they'll select certain applications to invite people to have an interview. And that is sort of like one of the deciding factors as to whether or not someone actually has succeeded in applying to the Academy. So here's a quick flow chart, basically for how this process will work this spring. We'll make these slides available, so don't feel like you have to rapidly jot everything down. We'll basically, this year we're trying to sort of move everything forward a little bit in time. It feels like with this writing workshop course, we always end up being a little bit late. So we try to sort of front end things about a week sooner, earlier than we did last year. So application deadline, June 8th, which is a Monday, not a Friday. So in the past, I've asked some of the participants in the workshop to give feedback, and most found, unsurprisingly, the workshop to be incredibly helpful. So I guess the TLDR is, definitely do the workshop if you can fit it into your schedule. There's more information on the Academy's webpage, including some old teaching portfolios that were submitted to the Academy and accepted. Some people even uploaded some of the comments and feedback that they've gotten from different stages of the review process. So that's there for you to look at. So that's pretty much the end of my spiel. Does anybody have any questions for me?
Okay, I'm just going to turn off the the recording because we said that we would not record question and answers. But if you have any questions later on, you can also send us an email. Oh, let me see how I do this.